Barilla92, he says, should we go to a 4-3? We never run base defense now. I mean, we really run a 4-3. I mean, we just do it out of nickel. Most teams are operating out of nickel. It's not necessarily a 3-4 versus 4-3 concept. It's more so matching up with the way these offenses are implementing wide receivers. Putting that third guy out there, trying to find that speed on your linebacker. We're trying to figure out how to offset that. So you play nickel, but the flip side is when you're in nickel, teams want to run the ball against you, and you got to have a guy that could stand up like a big dog and make them plays, or your super vanilla play zone concept, stay in base defense, but your D-line has to be son of a guns, and they have to whoop butt, consistently make that ball come out when it's supposed to come out. So it's either one or the other with that approach. But yeah, going to a 4-3 versus a 3-4, if anything, trying to do that at this stage is going to take about 2 to 3 years to fully transition your roster defensively to get 4-3 personnel in here. And honestly, you're going to see the same amount of 4-3 base defense you're going to run. It's still not going to be more than how much we're going to predominantly be in that nickel look, because you're still not going to want to have that linebacker, which is a Will or a Sam linebacker, having to cover some of these exotic tight ends, or when they're putting wide receivers or speed players into that number 3 or slot area on offense. So that's the only thing, like I said, man, in terms of why you don't hear me spend a ton of time 3-4 versus 4-3, because I think at this stage, so many teams, specifically on defense, you're in nickel 70-80% of the time. Some teams be more than that. If you got a nickel that is good enough to play against the run, problem is trying to find that guy. That's why a Cam Sutton, a Beanie Bishop, a Mike Hilton, right? Let me think. Up in Buffalo, the All-Pro was Taron Johnson, right? All the different dudes that play that position at a high level. It's like, man, that's not easy to do, because you're trying to find a dude that can play the run, but also is athletic enough to cover. And that's essentially a unicorn. So let me say, that's, like I said, how I look at it, man. But in terms of our personnel, though, Beanie Bishop, Cam Sutton, those are our guys right now. In terms of that nickel that would be the pseudo third or the 3 part of that 4-3, that's who that is in our defense. But yeah, if we were going to switch to a full 4-3, now we're talking about TJ Watt, maybe having to stand and play Sam linebacker, Highsmith, saying it's like, nah, I don't want to do that, man. Keep them dudes down there, man, rushing the passer. And at least, in terms of the 3-4, the outside linebacker element, it's just a little bit more of a natural vibe for those dudes versus if you go to a 4-3, they're too small to play DN full time. So you would, like I said, put them at off ball. So that's the only thing with that, though, man. But I do like your approach, though, Barilla. Shout out to you on that, man.